Hello, my name is Aaron Sutherland and I am a SUSE certified instructor. And today in this video we're going to talk about command line skills, specifically output redirection. When it comes to output redirection, we actually have three different things that we're going to work with. These are referred to as streams. We have standard in, we have standard out, and we have standard error. Now, standard in is referred to as stream 0. Standard out is referred to as stream 1. And standard error is referred to as stream 2. Standard in, or stream 0, is basically us using our keyboard to type in a command in Linux. So something like the ls command, that would be standard in. Now standard out is the output of that command. So standard in is us typing in our command, that's just us using the keyboard to type in the command that we want. That's our input. Our output is the result of that command. Now that could be standard out or it could be standard error. So a good example of standard out would be let's cat hosts and there's standard out. Now if I were to cat a file that does not exist, we get an error message. That is standard error. So standard out and standard error almost always go to the screen or my console. So this is handy because this allows me to redirect the output of my commands, whether it's standard out or standard error, to another location, whether it's a file name or another terminal. To see an example of this, we're going to use the ls command and we're going to redirect standard out to a file. We'll redirect standard out to myfile.txt. Now you notice we didn't get the output of ls on our screen. That's because the output of ls went to the text file that we specified in the command. So now we can cat myfile.txt and see what that output is. When I use the symbol, the greater than symbol here, what this means is redirect the output to whatever I specify right here. In this case, I specified a text file. Now, if we modify this command and add a second greater than symbol, what will happen is the output will be appended to the file, meaning we now have new output. We're going to add it to the file with the original text that was in the file. So now if I cat myfile.txt, you can see that we have it in here twice. Now right here is the output from the first time I ran the command. This is the output from the second time I ran the command and appended the output to this file, and notice that it does include the file that we created the first time. We can also send error messages to a file. So let's look at, let's cat Etsy shadow. Now it tells me permission denied. So what we're going to do is we're going to send that error message to a text file. So we're going to cat Etsy shadow and we're going to send our standard error to a file. Now, we didn't get the error message this time on the screen. We still got the error message. It's just that the error message has been redirected to this text file here. So cat my errors, and there we go. It tells me permission denied. Now we can also append our error messages to the file, just like we did with appending our standard out to a file. So now let's do an ls on root's home folder, and let's append the error messages to the same file. So I didn't get any error messages there. Let's do an ls/root. Tells me permission denied. So now let's cat my errors.txt. So now we have cat etsy shadow permission denied and ls on/root permission denied. Another option that we have here is to redirect all of my standard out and standard error to the same file. Let's say that I want to run a command, but I don't want any output on the screen because I want it to be logged. So for that, let's set something up here. Let's touch file 1, and let's do an ls on file 1 and file 2. So we can see ls cannot access file 2. We have an error message, that's standard error. And then we have file 1, that's standard out. So I can combine the output into a single file. So let's rerun our command. And we want to redirect standard out to, let's just call this combined.txt. And we're going to include error to the same place, errors to be sent to the same place as standard out. Now I didn't get any output. I should have seen output like this. Well, again, because I'm redirecting my output with the greater than symbol to a file called combined.txt, we're going to look at that file to see the full output. So let's cat combined.txt, and there we can see that we've successfully redirected both standard out and standard error to a text file. And then the final point is we're going to redirect standard out to one file and standard error to another file. So to do that, we're going to ls file 1 and file 2, and we're going to redirect standard out to, let's just call this standard out.txt, and then we're going to redirect standard error to error.txt. Again, I didn't get any output on the screen because all of my output was redirected to the two files that we specified. Standard out will go to this location and standard error will go to this location. So now let's cat standard out. There we have file 1, and let's cat error.txt, and there's my error message. Now, one more thing I'll show you is we have the ability to not only redirect output to a file, which as you've seen gives me no output on the screen after I run my command, but we can, with the help of another command, the T command, we can see the output on our screen and have it redirected to our file at the same time. To demonstrate the T command, I'm going to use the words file that we used in a previous video. So here, if we were to look at just the top 10 lines of the file words, so head words, you can see we've got our 10 lines of text there. Now, if we were to redirect the output using the pipe symbol to the command T, and after the command T, we specify an output file. We'll just call this output1.txt. So here, the command head words shows me the 10 lines, the top 10 lines from the words file. But I'm taking that output with the pipe symbol and redirecting that output to the T command. Now what the T command does is it says we're going to take the output of that command, we're going to display it on the screen, and we're also going to redirect that to whatever file I've specified after the T command. So here we will cat output1.txt, and you can see that there is the same output as what was displayed on my terminal when I ran the command. So here we've redirected our output to another command using the pipe symbol, specifically the T command, and the T command again, it shows me the output on the screen and redirects that output to a file. Now, just like with the double greater than symbol that we use to append the text to the file, we can do that with T as well. So this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the tell command, and I'm going to send the output to T to have it sent to output1.txt, but I'm going to use the -A switch to append, and this will append the output to my output1.txt file. So now if I cat output1.txt, you can see the output from both commands because we did use the -A with the T command to append the output. You can learn about this and many other topics in the wide range of courses that we have available at our e-learning website at the URL you see here on the screen. Thank you for watching and have a great day.